Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the brand new RC channel, Worms RC, which is globally going viral. Well, one can only hope. I was going to introduce myself, but let's face it, if you've searched RC in the YouTube search bar, you didn't come to see some redneck, you came to see his toys. So, to introduce my small but mighty collection of toys, here we are to start off. On the left, we start off with my daughter's very first RC truck. Like many of you, I'm sure most of us all started off with some cheap but fun RC toys to get us started. Of course, hers was a little bit more fun and cool than what mine was as a kid. When I first started out, mine was the typical New Bright two-wheel drive. A lot of fun to bash around, but not as much fun as these with the four-wheel drive, two servo front ends. I remember wishing I could do a lot more stuff than what it could do, but hey, it got my foot in the door with starting into the RC hobby. Anyway, I picked up this one for her from Canadian Tire. I think I got it on a Christmas sale for like $50 or something like that. And it worked out pretty good for her first start out. I'd say she probably got a solid 6 months out of playing with it before the battery just went to crap. But as a good starter, it was fun for her. Now, I've recently upgraded her to this guy, which is a Cheery, or Chiru, I think is what it said. Anyway, I got this one off of Amazon. She's gotten better with her driving. She's not bashing into stuff as much. And I got this one because it's got some upgrade stuff you can do. Like this little steering servo is upgradable. It's got an actual motor set up with drive shafts for the differentials and actual gears in the differentials. So there's lots of things that I can do to change this up or replace as she breaks stuff. And this little bugger came with 2 batteries, which I thought was quite nice, especially with a little kid playing. The battery goes dead, they get upset because mom and dad get to keep playing, but they can't. And we're a family that likes to RC together, so I thought that was kind of a good idea. Then moving over this way, when I got back into this hobby, was probably 3 years ago now. I just wanted to see what was out there. And like I said, I started out with like a New Bright two-wheel drive RC. Unfortunately, I don't even have them anymore to be able to show them off. But I got back into this a few years ago when I started getting to that point where my daughter was old enough to want to play with stuff like this. And it seemed like a good excuse for me to get back into it. So I got this one for myself. Again, another Canadian Tire special. I think I got this one for like $100 at Christmas time. It's the Big Tom SC. 9.6 volt battery. I can't remember the milliamp hours on it. But it was a good start to get me back into, okay, this is fun and I want to do it. But for me, after I got old enough to be able to drive, I kind of started getting into real trucks and building 4x4s. And then I started building mud trucks, and I built 4 lifted trucks for myself over the years to beat on, play with, whatever. So when I started getting to this, it was like, okay, this is kind of cool, but like there's not enough scale realism to it. Like I like realistic. So then as my wife started showing an interest in it, we decided it was time to upgrade, time to get into something better. So we actually bought my wife this Red Cat Gen 8 V2, which is basically still stock right now other than a few slight modifications to it. But very well built, very much enjoy how scale realistic it is, the details of the body, the way the drivetrain is set up. It's very much like the real thing. For myself, I've always been into square body Chevys, so I came across this Traxxas TRX4 Blazer, which sold itself to me right away just because of the body, which, is kind of stupid looking back now that I bought it based on the body. Now knowing what it has for features and what it can do and all the upgrades available for it, it was super smart to buy because I like spending time building. As I mentioned, I built so many real trucks for myself over the years and driven real trucks that I really appreciate that. And I'll tell you what's really driven me into this hobby more than anything is just the fact that it's gotten so expensive to actually play with the real trucks. things from the price of fuel to parts to, like, I've got a small family, a wife, a daughter. Like, it's expensive to justify out those costs for, you know, like $200 in one weekend just for your fuel and entrance fee to go out and mud bog or get out and actually, you know, just play and break something. The hobby was getting too expensive, so I needed to find a way to still enjoy my hobby, but on a smaller scale. So I really started looking more into this hobby, and as you can tell, if you know anything about RCs, this truck is absolutely not stock at all. It has so many upgrade options, it's not even funny. And I'm nowhere near done. I've got so many more things that I want to do. As you can just see from the outside appearance, this is completely custom, and I will do a video on that later to show you guys what it actually is, what I've done to make this. Yeah, like I said, this truck has so many upgrades, things that I've modified on it. You'll notice that it's sitting higher than your average TRX4. That's because it is. It's actually on 2.2s, and they kind of look like 1.9s because I have so much lift in it, which I'm sure your regular crawler guys are going to bash on, but there is a reason for it, and I will show it in an upcoming video for what I actually wanted this truck to be. But for me, it's exactly what I was after. So, again, there will be a video later where I actually tear into this truck, show off all the upgrades, all the things I've done to it to make it what it is. This truck, like I said, I really haven't done a whole lot to. It's got a couple little things. Obviously, I've thrown a winch at it, but even that, I couldn't, do the way that normal people would do, so I've kind of done my own thing, and there's a reason for that. So there will be videos to follow showing some of the upgrades on my truck, why I've done things the way I have, and hopefully this is going to be good advice for people that are looking to get into the hobby. It's a great hobby. It was hard to kind of get into at first because I didn't have as much information as what I should have had. So I will say it's important to do your research. But again, I will do another video later talking about upgrades, things to watch for, and some tips for beginners who are just starting into the hobby. Like I said, you know, I started out back into this stuff again just with some basics, some cheap crawlers that look cool, four-wheel drive, and had a blast with them. And, you know, that led me into, okay, now I need something better. I need something that's more realistic, that I can actually tinker with. And now I spend hours just tearing apart building, and I've built numerous accessories, trailers, obviously my sweet little roll cage. I built another one of those for another friend of mine who's into the hobby as well. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff I'm going to go over later to show off what I've done. So what I'm hoping to do with this channel is just kind of give some insight to people looking to get into the hobby, show some things that I've done, why I've done them, or how I've done them, to try and help others get some ideas going. Because I believe the creativity side of it really adds the personal touch, you know? Like, I'm sure there's probably 1,000 of these TRX4 Blazers, you know, just out and around in my area, but there's none that's the same as this one. You know, I want that personalized touch. So hopefully when we go through it, I can show some things and somebody else can say, hey, you know, that was kind of cool. I like that idea. Maybe I could do something similar to that, or I could change that to my own idea or theme or whatever. So my whole goal with this channel, like I said, is just kind of help show off some ideas, teach people along the way with the little things that I've learned. And believe me, I'm no wizard. I have quite a bit of mechanical knowledge from my life. As far as electronics go, I am not a wizard yet, so bear with me as I learn on the way too. You will find, as I get into some videos on some of the accessories and stuff goes, I have built some trailers for these things as well. The back view here, I'll just turn this guy around so we can see better. I do have a trailer hitch set up on here. There is a reason for that. I do like to, again, along the lines of the scale realism, show off and throw a trailer on the back, and again, we'll get into more of that later for why this is built the way it's built. So anyway, thank you guys. Welcome to the channel. If you like this and you'd like to see some more of what's going to be coming, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or anything that you'd like to see with the lineup of trucks we've got here, I am happy to tear stuff apart, shoot a video, and try to explain to the best of my ability for anybody that has any questions. Yeah, I'm here to help. Alright, thank you guys so much. Like I said, like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see. Please join us next week for an episode. Probably going to do a walk around on this truck of the accessories and options and the way I've kind of laid it out. So stay in touch and watch for that. Thank you. See you next week.